Hi, so this is something new for me. This is the first time I've actually done a video. I have no idea how it's going to take shape, but I just thought that it's something I'd like to try. So, got my canvas set up here, got a few images, and this is actually quite a change for me in that normally I do military aircraft and aviation. But today, as you can see, I'm choosing a commercial subject. It's actually a Cessna Citation X. And what I had in mind was I've got this image here of a sunset over a city, which I believe is Chicago. I've got my image of my plane banking over. I won't be copying these highlights, but it's just a sort of indicative sort of look at what may be possible. Small sketches where I just try different formats, different angles, different shapes. And this is kind of what I thought worked best. And so what I've done is I've now drawn this onto the canvas. I think the only thing that strikes me at the moment, now that I've got it in larger, is that the horizon line here, which will be replicated up there, I'm not sure about that. I'm probably going to either drop it low or more lightly just to bring it above the plane, but that can take shape as I go along. So the idea is that I'm going to take through the video, got the concepts here, and the first thing that I'm going to do is actually put a light wash so that I deaden the canvas, especially as it's a white plane. I always like to put a wash over my pencil drawing. It helps to seal the pencil to the canvas and also takes away the intensity of the canvas, especially as we've got a relatively light plane. So I can actually tell the shade, the lights, the darks, the contrasts a lot better, especially when you bear in mind the darkness of the city, the intensity of the sky set against the planes. Okay, so as you can see, I've now put just a wash on. In this case, I've used ultramarine blue, but it could be raw sienna, it could be yellow ochre. Really depends on the colour, the background of the end picture. But for the base of this, as you can see, it's just taken the edge off the canvas, and the next stage will be is to put block colour in. So I'll be working in just actually blocking in the colour. As you can see, I have got these light background sketch marks of where I believe the major tower blocks will be. I have also changed the perspective slightly. You'll see on the photograph the road's coming here. I've actually angled it slightly, moved it aside. I'm also going to be moving the sun to about this position here, so actually it'll be hidden by the plane, but I think it will give more of a balance if this sort of is the mid-horizon line for both the sunset and the street lights where the roads dissect and join. So hopefully it'll work. Just to start, many hours to go, and I'll catch you when I've done the blocking in. So what you can see here is really just the first sort of blocking in of colour. There's nothing overly detailed here. I mean, I basically put some sort of blocking in some of the buildings here. That's more about just placing them in the right position. And I've got the sky, as I mentioned before. I'm going to move the actual point of the sun back, but we've got the colours in. I've got the movement of the sky, you can see here. So this has taken about a week. As I said, just gives me a little bit of background to work to. The shape is there, the basic contrasts are there, and where I'll go from here is I'll now start working on the back, bringing the clouds in, trying to put a lot more detail into the background. The plane I probably won't touch for a week or so, only because I like to actually, now once I've got that blocked in, I like to start bringing the background up to scratch. So hopefully another week's time, and it would have moved on again. Right, so back again. So this is filming up to speed. So I've got the two pictures here. This is cityscape. As I mentioned before, I've moved the horizon slightly more behind the plane, and I'm in the process of just blocking in. So what I've done since the last film is I've actually just started laying out the buildings, and you can see them here. It's not overly detailed at this stage. It's just about creating the shapes, the forms, the roads, and at this stage the sky is probably more or less how I'd want it to be. As you can see, it's a little bit more detail to go into, a bit more cloud to maybe put in there. I'm going to take that bit back, but in theory I'm very much happy with that as it is in contrast to the painting. So I've just blocked in some lighting just to try and give some impression of where the streets are going here. But one thing I don't want to do, I don't want to overdo that, because actually I want the focal point to be very much in the central area. So I won't put a lot of detail here. It will be just to give the impression of activity in streets and the linear rows of roads coming off the skyline. Once I've done that, then I need to paint obviously the tailplane back in. It'll be actually about putting all the detail and the highlights in the plane. So this is very much... Things moved on quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. You may remember that I was almost happy with the sky last time and actually just blocked in the groundwork and the plane, very basic state. But as you see, it's finished, and I have to say I'm quite happy with this. Most importantly is the perspective works, colours very intense, angle of plane works, and generally I'm really happy with the whole concept. Slight deviation from myself in that it's not a military subject, but I have to say I've really enjoyed painting this. And what I look forward to is actually just presenting more of these to you. And if you have any feedback for me, check out the website www.davidstilingart.com, where you can see more of my work. Thank you.